If you are a regular viewer of my channel, then you know I'm a pretty big fan of Dune Imperium. What you may not know is the reason I tried out Dune Imperium in the first place is because of another game, and that game is Clank Catacombs. Same designer, Paul Dennen, same publisher, Direwolf Games. I love this game so much, I thought, let me check out this other game that they made called Dune Imperium. All right, so Clank Catacombs is a fantastic game. My friends and I really enjoy playing this game, and I've been really looking forward to the time when they release an expansion for it, and that time has come. And I thought, you know what? I just received it. Let me just do a little unboxing video in case anyone is curious about that, and you can discover the contents along with me, and then I'll talk a little bit about it after that. So let's just get right into it. Let's open this baby up. Okay, so let's just get right into it. So first of all, we've got this Mr. Whiskers promo card. I'll open that up. This is a card that you get if you had pre-ordered the game. Then you would get this Mr. Whiskers card, which says, "Arrive, put 3 dragon cubes back in the bag. If you place one of your cubes in the dungeon this turn, draw a card." So that's kind of interesting because one of the things in Clank Catacombs were way shrines, where you would mark a shrine with one of your cubes and it would get you gold. And that was the only way to put one of your cubes into the dungeon. So it makes me wonder if there are new ways to put cubes into the dungeon in the expansion. All right, let's put that aside. Again, that was a pre-order bonus. So if you didn't pre-order, tough luck. It's something Direwolf does with their games. All right, let's get this plastic off of here. Okay, so let's take a look at the box here. Delve deeper than ever before in Clank Catacombs, Lairs and Lost Chambers. Strange sounds have been heard beneath the catacombs. Brave the lairs of the enigmatic Sphinx, the petrifying Medusa, or the formidable living statues. Discover lost chambers, each with a unique power found nowhere else in the dungeon. Collect trophies of your adventures to help your legend grow. New mysteries and dangers await in Clank Catacombs, Lairs, and Lost Chambers. Sounds very cool. Let's take a look at the contents here. 12 dungeon tiles. So, I mean, when we think about an expansion for this game, what do we want? We want more tiles. We want more cards. So we've got 12 dungeon tiles, 50 cards, and then we've got some, I guess, some tokens. 3 living statues, Medusa, Sphinx, and the rules. All right, let's open it up here. It's always tricky opening these boxes, especially the first time. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I got to smell this. You gamers know what I'm talking about. The smell of a newly opened game. The smell of cards. There's something just incredible about it. Okay, little promo thing. We've got the rule book here. We'll take a look at that in detail later. We'll set it aside for now. All right, we've got our new tokens here. So the living statues, the Medusa, and the Sphinx. Here are the new cards. Let me open that up right now, get a good sniff, and just kind of flip through them quickly. I'm not going to actually read the cards here because I want to be surprised the first time I play, but we'll do a little quick kind of flip through here. And, you know, I'll leave some of these so that you can see them. I'm not going to look. Okay. So there's our cards. Let me give a good smell here. Oh, Magic players especially know what I'm talking about here. Nothing like the smell of new cards. People say they like the smell of new cars. I hate the smell of new cars. It makes me sick. But cards, baby, oh yes. And here we go. We've got some new tiles here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 in the depths and 2 new save tiles. So that's going to be pretty fun. And we'll take a quick look at these. Again, I'm not going to look in detail. I want to have some surprise the first time I play this with my friends. But there are the tiles. So there we go. That's the unboxing. Nice little dividers here. We'll see. I'll probably try and fit all this stuff in the main box of the game when the time comes. But there we go. That's the unboxing. And let's, well, let me open up this little thing just in case you wanted to see these little guys in more detail. There they are. All right, let's take a look at the rules and kind of see what this expansion adds to Clank. And I'll give some of my thoughts about, you know, how excited I might be or how interesting I think that could be. Now, it seems like they haven't actually released the PDF of this rulebook yet. So I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take pictures with my phone and kind of superimpose them up here so you can see what I'm reading as I go. Hopefully that works. Okay, so the first page here, just credits, components. We went through that already. Setup, yeah, mix in the tiles, mix in the cards, basically. Okay, so here's one of the new things, trophies. In Clank, Catacombs, Lairs and Lost Chambers, you are able to collect monster markers and some cards as trophies. When you fight a monster or use a device that has trophy text, take that card and put it face up in your personal supply. It's not in your play area and you will never place it in your discard pile. The trophy text applies to you as long as it remains there. So I guess it's going to give you maybe some kind of passive effect for the rest of the game, some kind of power up, maybe even a negative thing. Okay, so here's an example, the Horde Keeper. When you use 3 swords to defeat Horde Keeper, it takes 3 swords to defeat it. So when you defeat it, you gain 3 gold and make +1 Clank for its defeat text. Okay, so that's if you defeat it. Then, because it has trophy text, you put the card face up in your personal supply. At the end of the game, Horde Keeper is worth 1 victory point for every 5 gold you have. Okay, so basically, in this case, you defeat the monster as normal, you get the bonuses for defeating it, but it's going to stick around and potentially give you extra points at the end of the game based on your gold at that time. Okay, pretty cool. The 5 monster markers in this expansion, which I guess are these little things, the Medusa, the Sphinx, and the 3 living statues, I think it was. The 5 monster markers in this expansion are also collected as trophies when you defeat them. See the layers section on the back cover for more details. Okay. Although some devices in this set have only trophy text and not the usual use text, you are still using them when you take them as a trophy. Okay, so you still have to pay the skill cost to activate the device, but it doesn't do anything. It's just a trophy. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so here are these different layers. So let's look at this example. In each layer, you will encounter a special kind of monster. When you first place a tile with a layer, place the corresponding monster marker or markers from the bank in that layer. Okay, so you're finding layers of these like mysterious, dangerous creatures. So you've got layer of the living statues. The 3 living statue markers are placed on the 3 marked spaces of this layer. Okay. While you're in the layer, you may fight a living statue there. And it says over here, you need 3 swords to do that. If you defeat it, teleport to another lair or lost chamber. Okay, that's cool. And the trophy is 1 victory point. Okay. Very cool. So you get all right, so you beat up a statue, you get a victory point, and you can teleport somewhere. Okay. While you're in the lair, yeah, you can fight it. You must teleport after defeating a living statue if there is another place to teleport to. Okay. Layer of Medusa. When you enter this layer, you must immediately either fight Medusa or turn to stone, which means take 2 damage. Okay, 2 damage is not good. So to fight her, you need to have 2 swords. You must play a secret tome during your turn to fight this. Well, that's interesting right there, because that's going to change potentially how early you want to get a secret tome. A secret tome is not something you want to have in your deck early typically because it's just a dead card. except for like librarian. There's a couple of cards that care about having secret tomes, but you might want to have one on you in case you find the Medusa. That's interesting. Defeat, draw 2 cards. That's very good. It's only 2 swords, not too bad. Trophy, 1 victory point, and ignore tunnel monsters. Oh, wow. So if you beat Medusa for the rest of the game, you don't have to worry about tunnel monsters. That's a pretty good bonus. You do not take additional damage if you remain in the lair, but you may choose to fight on the same turn or a later one, even if you did not fight Medusa when you first entered. Okay, so upon entering, fight her or take 2 damage, and then later, you can try again to fight her. Remember that you can't voluntarily take damage if you have no cubes in your supply, or if doing so would completely fill. Okay, I don't want to get into like all the nitty-gritty details. We got the Sphinx. You can see what it does there. I'm not gonna go through all of this in super high detail. Okay, so those are the layers of the Lairs and Lost Chambers. So you're gonna find these monsters. You can fight them. You can get stuff. Okay, new tile features. So this is cool. I love the tiles in Clank Catacombs. Entry tunnels. Some new tiles include entry tunnels marked in a distinct color. When you discover such a tile during movement, you must place it so that you complete your move onto the tile using one of the entry tunnels. Okay, so normally you can place the tile however you want as long as it connects to a road you can go through. So like if it's a one-way, you can't go the wrong way. But here there are specific ones that must be entered through those ones. Interesting. From then on, the entry tunnels have no special meaning. Players move through them normally. Okay. Pit traps. Oh boy. The first time each turn that you enter a pit trap room, you must either fall in or evade the trap. Okay, so if you fall in, take 1 damage, and you also cannot spend any more boots for the rest of the turn. Okay, so it's basically like ice cavern, ice cave. What are they? I forget the name of that. Crystal cave. It's basically a crystal cave, but you take a damage. Okay, or evade the trap. Trash a non-stumble card from your hand. Because it must come from your hand, you may find it wise to discover any new tiles during your turn before playing all your cards. Otherwise, you must fall in. Huh. So that's interesting. That one of the sort of cool things about Clank is that you normally don't have to really think about the order of playing your cards. You just throw them all on the table, kind of resolve things in whatever order you feel like. But with the existence of the pit traps, it might change the way people have to play, where instead of throwing everything down, you kind of do things more 1 card at a time, which I don't know. I don't have any strong feelings about that right now, but we'll see how it plays. But here's the weird thing about the pit trap. Trashing a non-stumble card from your hand, like that's great. You can get rid of burgles. Stumble is the one that gives you +1 clank. So you would love to get rid of that most of the time, but getting rid of burgles, just 1 skill card. That's nice. So the pit trap is basically an opportunity. It seems to me, which, yeah, I mean, I like the idea of being able to trash cards. It's a little weird to me that a pit trap is like something I want to find. But I mean, I don't know. It depends when you find it, I guess. You might not have a card you really want to trash, but you probably do. You may enter more than 1 pit trap room during a single turn. You must fall in or evade the trap once for each room. Remember that you can't take damage. Yeah. Okay. Next, magic barriers. When a tunnel is marked with a magic barrier, you can't move through it using boots if you have an artifact. You know what? This is kind of a cool theming thing. It's like the catacombs detect that you're trying to steal their precious artifacts, and there's like a magic barrier that you can't get through. So you can teleport through it. And that's going to make it so that there are maybe some roads you can get through early when you're not carrying an artifact. So in other words, it might make it harder to get out than it was to get in which already exists kind of with one-way roads, but this is another kind of variation on that, which I think is interesting. Linked one-way tunnels. Some new tiles feature a linked pair of one-way tunnels. When moving through them, the direction you enter from determines which of the two tunnels you use. What? Okay, so let's look at this. If you enter this tile from the top edge, you use the tunnel with two monster icons. Yeah. If you exit upward from the room at the center of this tile, you use the tunnel without monster icons and move onward off the top edge of the tile. Oh, I see. So, okay, so the path going in and the path going out, it's a different path in than out, I guess is the point. So rather than moving along the same path in and out, it's one way, takes you in along this way, and when you go out, it takes you along this other way. But you still, the door is still in the same place. The door that you came in and the door that you go out of, you end up in the same place on the connecting tile, but you kind of take a different like route in and out. Okay. I get it. That's cool. If you have the Catacombs map major secret, you may choose to use either tunnel, right? So that basically means you can go either way on one-way tunnels. So you could go back through the one way you came in. Okay, that makes sense. Clarification on acquire. We don't need to go through that. What else we got? Okay, so now for the Lost Chambers. We got the Lairs. What are the Lost Chambers all about? Many new tiles feature either a lair or a lost chamber. These are unique rooms found nowhere else in the dungeon, and each has its own special rules. Lost chambers are described here, while lairs are described on the back. Most lost chambers have one or more spaces where players may place a cube from their personal supply. Remember when I was talking about Mr. Whiskers here? If you placed one of your cubes in the dungeon this turn, draw a card. So in just the base game, there were way shrines and that's it. But now it looks like the Lost Chambers have another way to place cubes into the dungeon. Many of the same rules used for way shrines in Clank Catacombs apply. Okay, great. And then they're telling us what these are. Okay, looks like there's a whole bunch. You know what? I'll let you look at these on your own. I kind of want to have some surprise when I play this game and flip a tile and say, what does that do? And then we have to look it up and then we can kind of have a wow moment. One of my favorite things about games is those like kind of wow moments of discovery. So I'm going to look at one of these with you here, but you can feel free to look at the rest on your own. So let's take a look at the first one, Aegis Shrine. If you have a cube in this lost chamber, so when you enter the room, you can put one of your cubes in it. Okay, now what does that do? It doesn't give you gold the way a way shrine does. Here's what it means. If you have a cube in this lost chamber, then when a ghost would deal damage to you, okay, so ghost cubes are those white cubes that go into the bag, and when they come out, it deals 1 damage to everybody. So if that is going to happen, if somebody pulls a ghost cube and it's about to deal damage to you, then you can prevent it by returning a cube from the Aegis Shrine. All right, so if you visited the Aegis Shrine previously, you've placed a cube there. Basically, that cube is going to protect you the next time a ghost would damage you. Okay, I like it. Although you may have only one cube in the Aegis Shrine at a time, if you remove it to prevent damage, you may place a new one by visiting the room again. Very cool. All right, so you can look at the other ones there on your own, but I like this a lot. I think this is really fun to have these kind of secret rooms pop up, and rather than just having a way to get gold from the way shrines, which was cool, each of these different ones, it looks like, is going to have a different kind of power or bonus that you get from it. So different players are going to have access to these different kind of things as they explore in different ways. And it may also incentivize people to kind of try to get to these ones that are discovered, right? If I'm on one side of the map and someone far away discovers this Aegis Shrine, I'm like, how do I get over there to protect myself? All right, awesome. Okay, and that is it. So I think this looks like a lot of fun. It looks to me like this expansion is not going to vastly change the game in some way. It's not, taking anything away from base game. It's not changing any of the systems in any fundamental way. The way some expansions can, like for example, the way Rise of Ix in Dune Imperium changes a lot of stuff. It doesn't just add stuff; it takes stuff away and changes fundamental parts of the game. This isn't doing that, and I like that because I really like this game as it is. And basically, it just seemed like, well, if we could throw in some new tiles, have some more variety in the places we can discover. So it's not just different tiles. They could have easily just made, uh, you know, variants on what was already there, but they created some cool new things. I think that's gonna be fun. And I'm looking forward to discovering what the new dungeon cards are. I'm curious if they've found any new way to use lockpicks. I didn't see anything in the rules. There's no new kind of thing you can use the lockpicks for. It seems like that would have been something they could have done with an expansion. Maybe they'll do that in a second expansion. But I'm guessing there'll probably be some cards that, maybe give you some lockpicks. No new minor or major secrets either in here. That would have been something they could have added with an expansion. So it's honestly kind of a little strange. I feel like that would have been an easy thing to do. So a pretty small expansion, really. I mean, you've got 2 new types of chambers, extra tiles. You got this trophy idea and new cards. So anyway, I'm looking forward to trying it out. After I do, maybe I'll make a kind of a review video or talk about how it actually played. All right, well, let me know if you enjoyed this video. You can, like it, let me know. Subscribe to the channel if you like. Most of my channel is me playing Dune Imperium Digital. So if this is your first time here at the channel and you're interested in checking that out, please feel free to do so. And with that, I will say goodbye and check you later. Bye.